Hey guys, I'm Jimmy Kāsh Bevetti, and I want to share with you how I shot an independent feature film for under $20,000 and how you can do the same thing for under $25,000. I'm pretty much going to give you the blueprint of how I did it and then make some suggestions on how you can shoot a feature film for around the same price. First off, the script. Script is always going to be important no matter what. But if you're trying to create a quality micro-budget / no-budget film, the script is ultra important. You can have the best cameras in the world, the best sound, best lighting. Maybe you even designed an awesome movie poster at this point, but without a solid script, you've got a dragon fruit movie. And for people who aren't familiar with dragon fruit, basically it's a very exotic looking piece of fruit. It's got a cool maroon color to it, got these sharp edges. It almost looks like a dangerous potato. And when you cut it open, there's this unique black dot pattern in there. But when you eat it, guess what? There's no taste. No one wrote a script for that piece of fruit. And your movie, without a well-written script, is just a big piece of dragon fruit. My background here is in writing. I never went to film school, never even took a film class. I'm self-taught, and technically I don't really even know how to type. So if I can do this, anybody can do this. I won Final Draft software years ago from a screenplay competition, and I've been using that ever since. I'm not sure how many versions there are at this point of Final Draft, but if you're planning to do your own script, plan to write your own script, I would suggest using Final Draft. If you're gonna write your own script, try to think limited cast, limited crew, somewhat limited locations. You don't want a lot of special effects. You don't want a lot of complex stunts. You don't want a lot of detailed costumes. You want to try to avoid scenes that have a lot of background extras. You gotta kind of think big, but write small. After you've completed your script, get it registered. Current cost to register a script with the Library of Congress is $65, and I believe you can also register your work with the U.S. Copyright Office for the same price. If you're not a writer, don't be afraid to use a little bit of your budget right here. It's amazing how many people won't think twice to pay for the cast and crew or to spend money on locations or props, but nobody wants to pay a writer because everyone thinks they're good enough to write their own script. Writing a quality feature film screenplay is not that easy. You can find a lot of screenwriters online, just the same way you can find cast and crew. Some of the best free sites for scripts out there: Stage 32, Script Revolution, Screenwriters Network, and there's a lot of different groups out there on Facebook. So if you find the right script that checks all the boxes, limited cast, limited locations, and if you like the script, make an offer. A lot of writers out there would just be happy to see their screenplay come to life, and it's a major item that they could put on their resume. So you're gonna make a one-time flat payout offer of $1,000 to $2,000 for your script. Storyboards. I did storyboards for my entire film. And besides the actual screenplay, it was probably the most important thing I put down on paper. The storyboards were a big reason why we didn't need to shoot any additional footage after filming was wrapped. After each day of filming, I would sit down with the storyboards and a highlighter and highlight every scene we shot that day. Do not pay someone to do storyboards for you. You're basically drawing stick figures. You use a regular piece of paper, draw 8 boxes, leave a little room at the bottom there for notes, and make a few hundred copies of that piece of paper. The main purpose of the storyboards is to get an idea of where you want your characters positioned for a scene. So for the majority of one-on-one conversations, you're gonna film character 1 close-up, character 2 close-up, then a 2-shot. So the only thing you really need to draw here is where you want your characters positioned for the 2-shot, and then make a note that you'll be shooting close-ups of both characters. If there's an isolation shot of something that you're planning to shoot during the conversation, draw up a separate box for that because you might be shooting that cut later on. This way you don't forget it. You don't need to storyboard the entire film like I did for Girl in the Refrigerator, but it definitely helps to get some of the trickier shots down on paper, and that way you and your camera person are on the same page. Shooting a schedule. Your shooting schedule. When you're shooting an independent film, you want to be as well prepared as possible, and having a well thought out, detailed shooting schedule is one of the keys to being as well prepared as possible. You want to be specific with everything. You want to list every scene of your entire film. List the location. Is it interior or exterior? Is it day or night? List the characters you're going to need for that scene. List their wardrobes. List any specific props you're going to need. You don't want to drive an hour away and realize you forgot some important prop. Try to synchronize everything. If you have a character who's only a few scenes, try to get all those scenes knocked out in one day. The plan is to keep your shooting days down to 5 or 6 hours. Don't overschedule the shooting days. You want to factor in the time for your camera/lighting people to get everything set up. That's very important. Oh yeah, and don't forget to take pictures of your acting talents, especially if you're going to shoot multiple days with somebody wearing the same wardrobe. You want to maintain the continuity of their look throughout the film, so if someone has their hair parted to the right, you don't want to film with them 2 weeks later and their hair is parted to the left, and you're filming scenes that are all supposed to be taking place in the same day. We filmed the daytime interior Christmas scene. Same night we shot an exterior silent film scene. We had Christmas props, Christmas wardrobes, lighting to make it look like daytime at night. We had an exterior location to go to, different wardrobes for that one, props for that location, and we even had the lead actress change her hairstyle, and we got all of it knocked out in about 6 hours that night, all because we had a nicely detailed shooting schedule. All right, that's gonna do it for part 1, so let's take a look at your current tab. If you're writing your own script, you need to register it. So it's going to be $65 for the copyright. If you're not writing your own script, you're going to make a one-time flat payment fee of up to $2,000 for your feature film script. And again, make sure it's copywritten. Storyboards, you're going to do those yourself at a cost of $0. Shooting schedule, take your time, get it right, but do it yourself. Total cost, $0. All right, that's going to be it for episode 1. We are going to talk about camera and sound next time. That's going to be a good time. Thanks for watching.